Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome back to AllaTra TV Middle East. And today we have a very special guest from California in our live conversation show. But before we start, I would like to remind you, if you joined us for the first time, maybe you don't know what is Creative Society Project. This is a global project launched on the platform of AllaTra International Public Movement. And in the frame of this project, we talk to interesting people all around the world. We connect with everyone, and our goal is to unite and to build together a creative society. It's such a society there we will live peacefully and happily, all of us. And in today's show, we will talk a lot about the personal development in the creative society. So stay tuned. And if you want to repost our video, don't forget to use two hashtags, Creative Society and allatraunites. And my co-host today is Olga. Hi, Olga. How are you?
Hello, dear Alina. Thank you. I'm good. And I'm very
Please.
excited about our today guest and our stream.
Yes, I wanted to ask you, please introduce our guest.
Today, we continue the tradition of 6 degrees of connection. According to this theory, all people on the earth are connected with each other, maximum with 6 handshakes. We invited many guests to our virtual studio, asking them how do they envision creative society. They invited their friends and acquaintances afterwards, and this is how this project exists for more than half a year. And today we continue this tradition with beautiful guest Tasia Valenza from California.
Hi.
Hi, Tasia. How are you?
I'm happy
Is
to
it
see you guys. Thank you so
happy to
much for
see
having
you?
me.
Did
It's
I hear a
wonderful.
dog?
I hear a dog. I have two dogs, so I always say that whenever my dog barks that they give great bark, because they're very direct.
Oh, it was hi to our viewers.
Yeah, I heard it.
Thank you. Thank you for support, girls. Actually, it's my dog.
Yes.
Really?
You
So
you might hear mine too at some point, so don't feel bad at all. They want what they want when they want it, right?
Okay, so next time I'll get a dog too.
it will be a good tradition.
That would be
So
very
let
fun.
me continue, dear viewers. I'm very sorry. Animals, they can't be just hidden. They have to stick with us, with people. So our today guest is Tasia Valenza from California, USA. Tasia is Emmy-winning voiceover artist and master storyteller, communication coach, teaching the art of confident communication, TEDx keynote speaker, inspirationalist, and a beautiful woman. I'm welcoming you, Tasia. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. I'm so happy to have the chance to share with you my passion to teach this art of confident verbal communication.
Yeah, and my first question is about your project, Give Great Voice. I know you work a lot on it and you inspire people around you very much. Please share your story. What motivates you? What inspires you in your work? And why you actually do this?
Sure. So the essence of what it means to give great voice, the gift of giving our voices, it came down to the simplest form is that when we're doing it well, we're able to move, touch, and impact using our voices. And to me, it's our most powerful communication tool. I mean, right now we're having this incredible ability to converse all around the world at different times, and this is really powerful technology. But to the end, if we didn't have our voices to share over that technology, really, what are we doing, right? So the depth of what we can do with our voices is so powerful. And so I've been an actress and a voiceover actor for 35 years, giving great voice, really, you know, playing different roles and characters and taking words off the page and breathing and speaking life into them. And it has been my passion to do so. My first thing, I kind of joke that I'm a recovering actress and a fully functioning voiceover artist because when I was acting, I started at 15 and there were so many fun aspects of the glamorous, but the truth is that there's so many rejections as an actor, because, you know, your voice and your talent might be important, but what you look like in terms of the role, you know, and so I found myself being rejected so often of not being tall enough or pretty enough or blonde enough or thin enough or all the enoughs. And even though I had a great deal of success on paper, I was discovered at 15 for a movie by the great French director Louis Malle, and got to perform with Sean Penn and Donald Sutherland and some wonderful actors. And then 6 months later, I was on All My Children, which is a very successful soap opera for 40 years. And so I really had a magical beginning of my work. But at the same time, the insecurity I felt was so tremendous, and that sense of unworthiness was so great, because again, I loved acting and I loved performing, but I knew I was never enough. And I was told in many ways, you know, you're too heavy, you're too something. So I acted for many years. And then when I discovered voice acting from my mother, who introduced me to it, I had this incredible epiphany that all of a sudden I was freed from this confines of society, of what society says is beautiful and appropriate and right. And now I was just using my voice and my passion and my talent to tell these stories. And I awoke to this magic that I was released from this, you know, whatever God gave. And then we tried to tweak, and devoted myself and said, I'm only going to use my voice. So I stopped acting on camera 25 years ago. And I became this master storyteller in animation and narrations and stories. And then I realized this same thing, that I could teach not only actors, but non-actors. In other words, I was starting to use these same skills to play my real life roles, mother and wife and friend and teacher. And that the same principles I could teach to others so that they could gain the same confident, considerate, compassionate communication skills to give great voice, to move, touch, and impact. And so it is something that's evolved. I did a TEDx talk to kind of launch it, and I've been sharing it ever since. And I'm just delighted to continue to share it with you. So that's kind of my story.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tasia, for sharing. And I invite our viewers to visit your social media networks, and also to watch on YouTube your TEDx talk, because it's incredible. It's so nice. And the first time I met you, I was inspired how positive you are, that you are very creative. And I felt immediately that it's so easy to communicate between people, then everyone is open, that everyone is kind, and everyone just wants to communicate in the best possible way. And for me, it's one of the characteristics of the creative society, to love each other and to respect each other. But I would like to ask you, because you've met so many people and I'm sure you traveled a lot, what unites all people on our planet, despite differences in nationalities, religions, in all kind of divisions? What unites all of us?
Well, I would love to think it's that we're more alike than we are apart, that the recognition that we all love, we all feel pain, we all feel a certain need to connect and be understood, unites us. And when we can implement to let someone feel heard and to be valued, even if and to be understood, meaning that, you know, if we don't understand each other, that at least to gain perspective and really walk for a second in someone else's shoes can be the conduit that unites us. So the compassionate listening and then the compassionate speaking can bring so much kindness and connection and push away divisiveness and otherness. So that is my wish, is that the desire and recognition that, you know, we are really more alike than we are apart, but only through kind, compassionate, considerate communication can we find that out.
And when we talk about desire, that means it's an active position of a person. It doesn't come by itself, but it's a work of the person. It's a personal growth, yes, to see more alike people around, not to see division, not to get people feel rejected, but really to feel people included into a circle of humanity. And I like what you do a lot, and really I'm sure that your mission is very much important. And in a creative society, the communication between people is a key point. So I would like to ask you, how do you envision a creative society? What is creative society for you?
Well, you have so many pillars of it, and they're all so deep. I mean, you could dive in forever. If I was going to stick with the communication aspect in terms of the creativity, that when we are, if I had the bliss envisioning of the perfect creative society in my mind, one of the things would be that we all follow our bliss and passions that become our professions. So they always say, when you follow your bliss and the money will come. So I've been fortunate enough to do just that, to live my passion and to do it for free. In other words, if you're doing it for free and you get paid for it, it's incredible. And everybody has a creative spark in them. Of course, we need to have jobs that are, have to be mandated, that aren't as creative. But if there was a way to supplement everyone's creativity, to say, okay, if you have this day job and it's a corporate and you have to do it, but you make beautiful art on the side, that there would be some way to be recognized for our blisses and be paid for them, to show that there was value. Because I know in my heart that everybody is a creative individual, whether that creativity comes out in poetry or spoken word or clay making pots or videos or art, or there's something that people have in them that when they could do for 5 hours, and it would feel like 5 minutes. And if that piece could be recognized and supplemented, where they could feel that they could actually make some sort of living doing it, even if they didn't give up, I think that would give people so much more joy in their lives. Because they say, when you do something that you hate just to make money, you die a little bit every day. So that would be something that I would love to bring, that everyone has a chance to be creative and recognized for it.
That's a
Awesome.
very great vision. Thank you, Tasia. That's good that you specified that creativity can exist in any profession. Because me, as IT manager, previously I thought that I can't be creative in my work. Creativity is something about artists, paintists, poetry, and so on, and about art. But actually, every profession can help you to implement your talents and your creativity. Just change a look in it, a little out of frame. So nice
Yes,
to
a little
hear it from you.
reframing and encouragement. There's this wonderful author, Daniel Pink. Are you familiar with him? He wrote the book Drive, right? And he really understands people's innate drive. And there's a story about 3M, which is this huge company, right, that creates rubber and creates glue and such, and paper. And in the process of allowing them to have a creative outlet, one day that they can do anything they want, they created Post-its. Someone created Post-its, which ended up being the most successful product that they make. So to that point, and I didn't mean to interrupt, but you're just there. If each culture is supported in their creativity and businesses, that allows their employees to have that kind of, today, whatever you want to make, and we'd love to present it, I think so much more creativity can flow.
That's
Just
true. That's
yesterday,
true.
I had a great talk with a psychologist, a lady who is a specialist in psychology, and she told me a very simple thing, but this thing really came to my mind. She asked me, "What makes you feel happy when you do something? What gives you this feeling of fulfillment? Only something which you do with success."
Yes, that was the
If you
whole
do
idea of
something
flow,
really
right? When you're in,
good, yes, and you
yes,
are
when you're
happy
in
about
flow.
your result, you want to do more. And I see that we should create a society that every person has a chance to realize his abilities and talents. That's absolutely necessary. And also, it's a big work for the society to look around and really to think how we can create such a comfortable atmosphere for everyone, for every person in this world.
Yes, but how we feel is so much more important than a lot of times than how we think, because our thoughts can really, we're running on old loops so often, and we're not in the present moment. But when we're in creativity, when we feel that joy of whatever it is, we want to do more of that. And so there's that innate desire, and this book Drive talks about that the carrot and the stick no longer apply, that you can take people that want to do something, but all of a sudden if you pay them, they want to do it less, like level, because their innate intrinsic desire was starting to be channeled. And then if you punishment again, you're only going to get what the limit is that you've set. But when you set people free to have their own intrinsic creativity and desire, you get the best out of them.
Absolutely. I
Thank
agree.
you. And speaking about the creative society, Tasia, which actions do you think can do, can afford, in spite of nationality, religion, social status, and so on, to bring us to creative society sooner?
In terms of the 8 pillars, or just the question of what aspects do you think that we can bring it?
What faster comes to your mind?
Oh, again, it comes down to communication, because when we have and conversations, as opposed to the digital communication that can appear at that we're conversing, but really doesn't give context. When you're worrying about your emojis, how many you have to put in to convey a tone, that's what I love to share, is the remarkable power of tone and intention. Because when in the old days, when we conversed a lot, we had conversations just like we're having now. This is even better, of course. This is like the show The Jetsons, where we used to see a TV when I was a kid. It's like, oh no, you'll never see a face, that's crazy. And here we are doing that. So that's wonderful. Technology is amazing, but using technology to keep the verbal conversations going, as opposed to just the digitized one, which ends up creating so much miscommunication. That is what I notice, of course, when you see on Facebook, when somebody makes a statement and somebody misunderstands it, and it just spirals downward because they weren't able to hear the tone or see a smile or get the lightness. And so I would love to encourage people to continue to use their voices to express their passions and their goals in concert with others, just as if you guys are doing it. You're completely representing what it is to listen and to engage and to learn and grow together. That is a phenomenal way to continue it. And just to remember, when you're touching the head, the digital is wonderful, but when you want to go into heart, you need to create the voice and the communication and the tone and the intention.
Awesome. I do believe that communication is the key point for everything, because when we don't communicate, then we stay in the prison of our mind and we have thoughts about people. And then finally, just by simple question, you understand immediately that the person didn't mean what you imagined he was telling you about. And also a lot of problems which grow and grow, and the feeling of unsatisfaction, it wouldn't become so big if we simply spoke to each other or to a person at the beginning. Then we had this misunderstanding, and we have so much examples about it. And unfortunately, we have to learn nowadays basic things: how to communicate, how to stay positive, how to really feel this acceptance to people around us. And we do need, from my vision, we do need a lot of holistic approach towards human education, to explain how people can live in peace, how people can coexist and create together. So, as you mentioned that you worked in the film production industry, also you are voiceover artist now. I would like to ask you about the content which we create nowadays, about the films, about the mass media, about the series. In a creative society, which message should be sent to people in order altogether we could be inspired?
Which message? Wow. Well, again, the love, anything that's surrounding love and understanding. I have a hard time watching many shows now, and I'm very selective about what I watch because I feel there's so much anxiety in the world, and we're all going through a great trauma, with COVID, and it's a universal isolation, so it's even more important that we connect with each other and have these kinds of conversations. And also, whatever we're downloading constantly, when we take in all negativity, there's no way it's not going to imprint on us. So I would ask, last night I was watching on Amazon a show all about visiting Italy and parts of Italy. And I was engaging that with my son, as a choice between that and something that would be negative and, and make me feel scared or anxious. So I really hope that more content that lifts up and again makes us feel, my motto is I don't want to watch anything that I feel unless I feel as good as when I started or better. So unfortunately that's not always the content that sells, but I do believe that when we have that hit of dopamine from feeling good, or serotonin or oxytocin, and we feel good, we can operate from a higher bandwidth, and so I would encourage that kind of content, the kind that lifts us up, makes us laugh, more comedies, more, again, more shows that we feel like, I feel like I just went on vacation. So it's very, it's pretty simplified, but I think that we can make that choice to create that more than keep going to the low denomination of what is the most salacious and most, shocking. I would prefer to go in the other direction.
Me too. I would like all of us, we go to the other direction, and the contact which we watch. Actually, the tricky thing is that you will not understand which emotional state you will be after watching the film until you watch it. That's a problem, actually.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. Unless, but I do read reviews now. So you can get an idea like, oh, am I going to be scared, frightened, upset, and it's important. Again, there's so many important films that are disturbing, that do have value to see, but so many of us flit away our time in escapism because we feel overwhelmed. And, you have to say, does it make you feel more motivated to then go back to work, or do you just feel anxious and angry and fearful? Does that motivate you? So it is being more conscious and mindful of what we consume, because nowadays we're consuming at an ever faster rate, and our ability to have the patience to actually absorb things that make us think and take time is much more limited, because we're in this like 9-second, they say that our attention spans are like of the guppy, right? 9 seconds. And then we want to move on because of all the swiping that we do. So I think a return to kind of, programming and allowing our mind to be willing to take the time to absorb it is also a skill set that we need to keep going and, acquiring.
Yeah, that's true. How easy would be live in this world if more positive emotions would be spread in movies we're watching, in cartoons for children, theaters, and so on. And in order to build a creative society, a world in which every person will feel comfortable, we should also be united by one goal. This basis of our goal are our eight foundations that are described in the article, The Foundations of the Creative Society and the Stages of its Construction. It was published on 18th of May 2020 on the website allatraunites. Dear viewers, you are more than welcome to read this article. It provides whole understanding how we can come to this model of society all together, and that's actually it's not that difficult, and just being united, we can come to that very soon. Today, I would like to talk with our beautiful guest about 6 of its foundation, development of personality. Tasia, please, could you read it for us?
Yes, it made my delight. It was such a beautiful foundation. So the development of personality. Every person in the creative society has the right to comprehensive development and personal fulfillment. Education should be free and equally accessible to all, creating conditions and expanding opportunity for a human to implement his or her creative abilities and talents.
Thank you, Tasia. That's amazing.
Introduction.
I almost lost my next thought.
So I would like the words.
I would like to hear your thoughts about this foundation. How important, in your opinion, for every person on the earth to implement own abilities and talents for society? And what do you think? Is it easy to do it now? And will it be easy to do it in creative society?
Well, again, we're going back to this idea of the personality that, would it be wonderful if we could all be supported in terms of more educational opportunities to develop all of our talents and our personalities. And thankfully, I will say that there is a lot of content that we can access now more than ever if we choose to. I mean, on YouTube, there's nothing we can't learn, from voiceover acting to public speaking to, I mean, the TED Talks alone. There is a great deal of personal development, and people are, again, accessing things that used to be only localized around the world. So I'm very encouraged by the amount of opportunity to grow, even for free. I mean, that's the beautiful thing, is I'm always sharing content that, I hope helps people and inspires people. And I'm always learning from other, excuse me, great speakers and teachers, how I can be better. So it is a wonderful time in the world to learn and grow together. And I do feel that it's a matter of people taking the initiative and then finding it, and then, believing in themselves. I mean, I've been, one of the funniest things is that I discovered after 20 years of living in Los Angeles, the library. Like I knew about it, but not till I had my kids, and I thought, oh my God, I can't afford to buy all these books. And I go to the library and realize all the audio books and all the books and all the, all the brilliant authors out there, it's all free. And so I started getting, all these books that I had, I thought, oh, I'll buy them eventually. But I had access, and especially audiobooks. And now they're all on digital. And I mean, when I'm walking my dogs, I'm learning. When I'm in the car, I'm learning. I'm always learning because I want to grow. And one of my favorite teachers was Brian Tracy, who, the psychology of achievement. At 28 years old, I started listening in my car, and by then was tapes, by the way. That was a long time ago. But the personal development just grabbed me. And so, I would like to say that on a positive note, in a creative society, it should be that much more and more accessible. But right now it is quite accessible if people want it, right back from their library to, again, all the free content on YouTube and all. They just have to desire, what are you passionate about? What are you interested in? Where do you want to grow? Somebody is willing and there to teach you that.
Awesome. And also, like you mentioned today, that we have a lot of opportunities today for the education, for the free education, and also we can find a lot of very helpful content. So what can we say? Only that we wish that we get more and more positive content, helpful content, educational content, and less aggressive and violence propaganda content. That's very much important. And this is a question of responsibility of people, and also not only the viewers, but also those who produce the content. And I really wish that all of us understanding that with contemporary technology, each of us is a mass media content producer. So we all produce something. Our short videos, vlogs, blogs, everything can be very helpful. And as we are talking about technologies, and it's amazing how efficient are contemporary technologies. I would like to tell this story how we met you. So basically, as we mentioned already, we are testing the theory of 6 handshakes. And according to this social theory, all people in the world are connected through 5 or fewer social connections only. And then we started to test this theory. We realized that with contemporary technologies, it's only 2 connections, or sometimes it's only 1 connection which can bring you to any person. And the amazing thing is that a guest from Australia, a guest of our show, Edward, hi Edward, hope you are watching us today.
I love Edward.
Connected us with Tasia in California. Guys, just imagine the map of the world, Australia and California. These are our possibilities today to connect. So we don't have borders in connecting people, and we always can be positive, and we always can be helpful, and always can do a lot of projects together, even being in very different parts of the world. But I would like to ask you, Tasia, then you first learned about this project. What was and you read the article and the 8 foundations. What was your first impression?
I was blown away by, again, we sometimes when we're feeling a little on the hopeless side of when things are so tough and there seems to be such a negative spiral of world happenings, to find out that there's people all around the planet who have these credos and beliefs that we can be better together and are actually taking action to do it. It really lifted me up tremendously, and I of course wanted to be part of it in any way that I could, because I was just so hopeful, and when we can grab onto hope, it really gives us a sense like, oh, okay, even though it seems very dark at this moment, when there are people like you out there, and Olga, and all the creators of this beautiful 8 pillars, it makes me feel like, yes, if we gather together, the billions of us, and we go in this direction, we can absolutely change anything. So, and I had run into another group of people doing kind of in the similar, which I wanted to introduce you to, talking about that 6 degrees of separation. So, knowing that there are forces of good out there and it's multiplying, it made me feel very joyful to know, and also blown away by the content and the thoughtfulness going into each pillar. Very, very deep thought that really encompasses a great society. Obviously, the utopia, there's no such thing, I guess, in that we can, but to have principles that can guide us is fantastic. And certainly in this creative society that there are.
Now you just explained in details what I felt myself when I first learned about this project. I also felt I felt that there is no more hopeless feeling. There is a feeling that we can do it. We can do it all together, and it's easy. It's possible, but we have to unite. If we unite all together, and we are clever, we have education, we have experience of our lives, we know how to communicate. All people in the world, we are like one big family. Why wouldn't we build a creative society? It's easy. It's quickly. We just take a decision and we make actions. And right now we are at the level of informing people about this project, and we would like to invite more people to join this project. And it's very easy. Just, dear viewers, you can visit allatraunites.com webpage, and you choose the button Join Us. and you just answer 3 short questions about the project, and then click join us. And we will connect and we will talk about the project, what we do together. So please join us. The quicker all people of the world connect to this project, the quicker we can build a creative society by peaceful means and live in such a society, and we can be proud to leave such a world to our children as well. So I pass the floor to Olga because I know we have many more questions, but yeah.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, girls. What you are saying warms up my heart, really. And I'm so glad that our 8 foundations are close to your heart, Tasia. So, just for statistics, we always ask this question in all our streams. Would you like to live in creative society?
Yes. Unequivocally, yes. I mean, it would be amazing. And, there's, of course, the side that says, is it possible? There's so much. And then they, again, just watch and believe that the ripple effect of one meets one, which one, amazing things can happen. So, yes, I would love to be part of it. And I would love also to share a tool that has helped me and that I would love to offer your viewers that would also support the Creative Society, if I may.
Yes, please. We would be happy.
So the pillars of Give Great Voice are the 3, they come in 3. It's how we give great voice to ourselves, our self-speak, because so much of how we present ourselves in the world is the internal dialogue that's constantly going on in our heads, how we feel about ourselves. And then it's to how we use our voices for our professional lives, how we further our goals and our missions, and then to give great voices to deepen our relationships, to make the ones that we care about deeper. But we start with ourselves. And so often I call it speaking the language of self-love, which is a foreign language to so many people. So many people will tear themselves down and have terrible, self-esteem. And then they go out into the world and they're operating on that system. And that is one of the things that doesn't allow for a creative society, because that creates that feeling of otherness and lacking and anger and resentment that only escalates. And so I was fortunate enough to co-found an affirmation meditation app called Haven, Guided Affirmations. And I co-wrote each mastery, these meditations, and voiced each one. And it's a free application. It's completely free. It's called Haven Guided Affirmations. And I so would love to offer that to anybody listening, because they can use it and start learning this language of self-love and literally speaking to themselves, but only kindly, to rewire the programming. So much of our programming is old. I call it, it's like an old hardware system in our brains, of our minds, but that needed a software update. And so I'd love to offer this app called Haven, so that they can use it and start saying, I love myself, I believe in myself, I am worthy, I am creative, and I use my voice powerfully to connect and uplift, things that really do serve us in our roles. And so I just wanted to share that this is something that would give me great joy for people to use and to help themselves and to spread this, because it literally is free, and it's just a gift in service for that goal of self-love.
Thank you so much. It's a great tool. And dear viewers, we'll be very thankful if you could share your comments and maybe give your feedback after you try the application.
Yes.
And as well, please be aware that every person in the world can become a guest of our show as well. And we consider the humanity as one big family. And we cannot take decisions in one family without asking every member of the family. So every voice is valuable. And we are waiting for all of us to become guests of our show. Nowadays,
you're going to be very busy.
Yeah, that's why a lot of our people join the project daily, and they start also broadcasts in different languages. Yes, of course, we will be very busy. So we are waiting for everyone to join this project in order we could realize it very quickly together. Don't hesitate to send us emails with your request to participate in our broadcasts to info@allatraunites.com. And also, we would like to know about your ideas about the Creative Society, how we can realize it. You can send us emails, but you can also write comments below our videos. And you can find all the information on the website allatraunites.com. But let's say so, the 8 foundations of the Creative Society, this is the final point we should come to, like to protect human life, to give freedom to everyone, good education, protection, feeling of respect. But how we are going to realize it, it depends on us, on our experience, how we decide altogether to do it. Because there is no ready solution. Nowadays we live in the consumer society, but we can change it very quickly. And today we had a very inspiring broadcast. Thank you so much, Tasia, for joining us.
My pleasure.
Our broadcasts, they always give me the feeling that we are like birds. We can fly and we can do everything.
Love it. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. You guys have the most radiant smiles, and a smile alone is one of the things that I share, you know, that starts the ball rolling in terms of how we feel. We actually release dopamine and all these good feeling hormones. And then when we flash a smile, a genuine smile across a screen, even if we're thousands of miles away, millions of miles away, we connect and unite. So that is one of the nonverbal gifts that we can offer, that our voice will then follow. You know, when we say hello, hello, completely different experience. And the smile is that, and you guys have just create such beauty just in your smiles, so both of you.
Thank you, Tasia. I always say about Smile that this is the cheapest but actually priceless product, priceless present you can give to any person. So why don't we do that? Let's smile.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us today. And actually, to continue our theory of 6 degrees of connection, I would like to ask you, who comes to your mind first of your guests, friends, or acquaintances who can be interested to take a part in same interview and share her or his vision of Creative Society?
Oh gosh, I have so many wonderful friends, and I certainly have one, Catherine Roy. She's an incredible coach and business coach and mindset coach, and she's got a heart as big as the sun. And she's incredibly creative. You know, she has that right brain, left brain thing happening at the same time. So I would love to recommend her.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tasia. Thank you, dear viewers. Thank you, Alina, for hosting today. I hope you enjoyed all the stream as we did. And see you on Allatra TV Middle East very soon.
Thank you. Have a great evening. Have a great day. Depends on where you are. And it was a great pleasure.
Goodbye.